Warm greetings to you, friends. My name is Mike Deeb. I'm the Orders Delegate to the United Nations and the General Promoter for Justice and Peace. We've been talking a lot in the chapter about our delegation to the United Nations, and the capitulars have been very positive about supporting and strengthening our delegation in the UN. Many people may still be wondering, why are we in the UN and what is the use of it? In fact, the Order has realized that for us to achieve our task to evangelize all nations, the place of the UN is the one place where we can meet all the nations of the world, 193 of them in one room at any one time. We can address them and we can engage with them about all the issues that we think we want to be promoting. And we know we're there because we're wanting to promote justice and peace in the world. To be able to evangelize, we have to bring the good news of Jesus, which is that good news of justice and peace. And the Order decided 23 years ago to establish a presence in the UN precisely in order to enable us as an order to have more of an impact on the world. Because we've been involved with issues of justice and peace since the beginning of time. And in the Order, we've spoken a lot about it. And we are focused on that at a very local level and at regional levels, and even at global levels at times. By focusing on the UN, we're trying to say that we want to promote at every level of our lives as Dominicans. We want to promote justice and peace at every level, starting from our local communities, our provinces, and going right up to the UN context, where we are able to have our impact at the global level. So what we are doing in the UN, we're not working separately from what Dominicans are doing everywhere else. In fact, we advocate for things that are coming to us from Dominicans on the ground. That's why our first task, if we wanted to engage in the UN, is to hear what are the issues, what are the challenges that our Dominicans at local level are experiencing, and how are you trying to address them already at that level. Once you have seen to what extent you can be effective, or whether you're encountering big obstacles already at that level, that's when we come in at the broader levels to see how we can support you and how we can advocate for the causes you are advocating for at the higher levels in the UN and amongst governments more generally. So in order for us to be effective in evangelizing and promoting the good news of Jesus at every level, we urge all of you to start by looking at what are the issues that you are facing in your local context. Where are the places where human rights are being violated? Where are people suffering to a great extent? And how are you, as Dominicans at a local level and as family, in collaboration with all branches of the human family, of the Dominican family, how are we trying to address those challenges? How are we trying to bring that as good news? Once you have done that, we would love you to let us know what you are doing and how you are doing it, so we can share those stories with people in other places, so they in turn can be inspired to look at the challenges in their own places. And when you are finding that the issues are much bigger than you are able to address at the local level, that's when you can turn to us to see how we can support you through advocacy in the UN. There are many different mechanisms in the UN where we can engage. Many people are quite cynical about what can be achieved there, and we have to acknowledge that to bring about change at any level is often a slow process. And especially when we're dealing with things at a broad level, it can be quite slow. But it's not a reason for us to be discouraged. We have already achieved many useful successes in our work in the UN. We've been able to help our brothers and sisters on the ground to challenge their governments, to get governments to respond to issues like the evictions, issues like human trafficking, issues like the detentions without good reason. And we've been able to force governments to, in collaboration with others in the UN, to look at those issues and address them. Of course, I cannot enumerate now all the many possibilities, but if you can identify those issues at your local level and communicate with us, we'll be more than delighted to engage with you to see how we can work together. Because our evangelizing task needs a united effort from all of us. So in this general chapter, we are grateful that the chapter has accepted the need to strengthen our delegation there. We know that we cannot succeed without the support of all of you. So we urge all of you to take up the challenge that the capitulars have made and to start engaging at local level and communicate with us so we can together transform the world and bring the good news of Jesus to all nations.